I'm Mike McCarty with another episode of the Rough and Tumble. Thanks for joining me today. I certainly hope things are going well for you guys out there. I remember how it was working out in all kinds of weather, dealing with all kinds of issues and problems. But there were a lot of good days, bluebird days, and where, man, I wouldn't have taken anything to be out there in the outdoors and enjoying working in the oil patch. Now, for some of you might be up in the Bakken field where it's colder and, well, you know the terminology, and or other places, And of course, you may be seeing this when it's plenty hot. But, if this is a tough day and you're out there and you're thinking, man, I'd sure rather be by the fire or in the air condition, depending on what the circumstances are for you today. Well, I hope you have a nooner or sooner. Go home by lunch. Get to go back and see mama, whatever your situation is. Yes, I understand. I do understand. Been there, done it. Anyway, this story today goes back to the 70s. I was, a young apprentice, and they sent us up to it was right near the Circle in Kilgore, Texas. And seems the rig was having to go into a location there, and the power line feeding the pole that fed the well to run the motor, well, it was low, and the rig couldn't get up to set up on that's right, the derrick as it rose, it couldn't set up because of this line. So they needed us to take the line down so the rig could pull the well. Well, we went up there, and it was, I believe on the corner, it was a place called J&L Supply. Been a while. I'll have to talk to some of my oil field buddies, but I believe it was J&L Supply. And there's a Circle Cafe there now. Some of you may know about it. But anyway, right next to that supply house was a house with a fenced-in yard. And this power line was running right over that fenced-in yard over to the pole that fed the well. Well, we got up there and looked the situation over, and we pulled around front, and the pole feeding that pole was setting, well, here's a fence on that yard, and that pole the guy had to climb was right here beside it, coming up right beside it here. So we pulled up around there, and as we pulled up in front of that fence near that pole, all of a sudden we see this huge dog come running at us. I mean, oh man, this boy was big, and this boy had decided that we didn't belong there, and he came running up at that fence and wham, hit that fence and grabbed that fence and tried to tear a hole in it. And that old journeyman looked at me and he says, I don't believe this dog is playing games. I think he means business. I said, yeah, he wants to take a leg off. And so I get out and I start getting ready to get the hand line out, and that JW looked at me and he said, don't worry about that hand line. You can't get over in that yard and let that wire down. He said, I'll just cut them down. And I said, thank you. He wouldn't have had a apprentice for long if I'd have gotten that yard. That would have been the end of me. I know it. Anyway, so I get the stuff, getting it ready for him and everything, and that dog just kept running off around that yard, and he'd come back up there, and he had to hit that fence, and I'm thinking, I'm not scared of dogs, but this dog here, I knew that you better respect him, because he meant business. He wasn't playing, and it was very obvious. And so old journeyman, he goes up that pole, and he gets ready, and he clips that bottom wire, and that thing fell right down across that yard. And that dog, is going up. He ran out there, kept running back and forth, and when that wire hit, whoop, plop down on that ground there, that thing ran at that wire, and he was running so hard and fast, he ran up there to bite that wire, only we didn't shut the main off at that panel over there at the well, so there was back feed on that wire. So it was hot. And I don't think we could even get in there. The crew was there. Everybody was in the way. And he just said, well, I'll just cut it down right quick. And that dog hit that wire, and the momentum of him just, boom, he's rolling over on the ground going, arr, 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 arr. And he just runs to the farthest part of that yard away from us, and he backs off in the corner, and he sits there, and not a sound, not a sound. I mean, that boy was quiet. He didn't move at all. And I looked up at that old journeyman. I said, Bud, I believe you done ruined the meanest dog, the meanest guard dog in Kilgore, Texas. Ruined him. He said, well, better look next time, you know, better him than me. And I said, yeah, amen to that, brother. Anyway, it was really funny to see that big old mean dog sitting over there wasn't going to touch us. He done been hit hard by that voltage. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and let's just share it. And I look forward to hearing your stories as well. And further this channel and preserve our heritage of the oil and gas world. Well, until next time, for the Rough and Tumble channel, I'm Mac McCarty saying so long.